The dog waited 6 hours in the rain, and when the parents found out why, they cried together. Can you imagine your dog waiting in pouring rain for 6 straight hours? Without moving, without seeking shelter, just waiting. What you're about to discover will break your heart and then rebuild it in ways you never imagined. Stay until the end because the reason for this wait will make you rethink everything about animal loyalty. But before we continue, if you love real pet stories that show the power of unconditional love, drop a like right now and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any emotional stories like this one. I promise you'll want to share this with everyone you know. The day it all began. It was an ordinary Tuesday. Sarah and Michael, a couple from Seattle, left for work just like they always did. Max, their 7-year-old golden retriever, stayed in the backyard as usual. Max had always been a calm dog, the kind that spends the day resting in the sun, playing with his balls, and anxiously waiting for his owners to come home. But that day would be different. Around 10 a.m., the sky began to darken. Heavy clouds took over the city, and within minutes, a torrential storm began. Heavy rain, freezing wind, frightening thunder, the kind of storm that makes you run inside and be thankful you're in a warm, dry place. When Sarah received the storm warning notification on her phone, her first thought was Max. She immediately called Michael. "Is Max okay? Does he have access to his doghouse?" Michael reassured her. "Yes, his doghouse is there. He must be inside by now. We'll be home in a few hours." But something they didn't know yet would change everything. Hey, if you're enjoying this story, have you dropped a like yet? It really helps the channel grow and motivates me to bring more incredible stories like this one. And don't forget to comment below telling me if you have a loyal pet like Max. The shocking discovery. It was 4 p.m. when Sarah finally arrived home. The rain had lessened a bit but was still falling steadily. She parked the car and something immediately caught her attention. Her heart nearly stopped. There was Max, in the middle of the yard, completely soaked, shivering, but standing, just waiting. "Max! Oh my God, Max!" Sarah ran toward him, not caring about the rain that was still falling. Tears were already beginning to well up in her eyes. Why wasn't he in his doghouse? Why did he stay there under the rain for all those hours? But when she got closer, she saw something that made her stop in her tracks. Underneath Max, protected by his big furry body, was a small box, and from that box came subtle sounds, tiny, weak, and desperate meows. The secret under the rain. Sarah knelt in the mud, now crying uncontrollably. Max had found a litter of newborn kittens, probably abandoned there during the early morning hours. And instead of seeking his own comfort, instead of protecting himself from the storm, he did something extraordinary. He became a living shield. For 6 complete hours, Max stood over that little box, using his own body to protect those tiny, helpless beings from the freezing rain and cutting wind. He was shivering, exhausted, cold, but he didn't move, not for a second. You know what this means? While we humans often think only about our own comfort, this dog chose voluntary suffering to save lives that weren't even of his own species. Guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that red button now and share this video with that friend you needs to see how special animals are. Let's go! The rescue and the tears. Sarah screamed for Michael, who was arriving at that moment. Together, they carefully lifted Max and grabbed the box. Inside, 4 tiny kittens, still with closed eyes, snuggled against each other. They were wet, but alive, all 4 of them. If it weren't for Max, those kittens would have died of hypothermia within minutes. But thanks to the courageous and selfless decision of an incredible dog, they had a chance to survive.
Sarah and Michael wrapped Max in warm towels and immediately took him inside. They dried every inch of his fur, gave him warm water and food. Max ate slowly, still exhausted from his 6 hours as a guardian. As for the kittens, they were wrapped in soft blankets and placed near a heater. Sarah fed each one of them with special milk for puppies using a tiny bottle. And then, sitting in the living room with Max resting at their feet and the kitten sleeping peacefully in a soft box, Sarah and Michael looked at each other, and they cried. They cried with emotion, gratitude, and admiration for the giant heart of that dog who shared their lives. What happened next? You must be wondering, what about the kittens? What happened to them? Well, Sarah and Michael tried to find the owners or the mother of the kittens, but without success. Someone had clearly abandoned them on purpose, hoping they would die in the storm. But fate had other plans. In the following weeks, something magical happened. Max became the official adoptive father of those kittens. He would lick them, sleep beside them, and when they started walking, he followed them everywhere like a vigilant protector. The kittens, in turn, treated him as if he were one of their giant siblings. Sarah and Michael decided to keep 2 of the kittens, whom they named Rain and Storm in honor of the day they were saved. The other 2 were adopted by close family friends, people Sarah and Michael knew well and trusted completely. To this day, 3 years later, Max continues to be the best friend of Rain and Storm. They eat together, play together, and sleep piled up like an unlikely but perfect family. The lesson Max taught us. This story makes us reflect on something profound. We humans often get so worried about our own problems, our own comfort, our own journey, that we forget to look around and notice who needs help. Max didn't think twice. He saw beings in danger and acted. It didn't matter that they were cats, traditionally considered dogs' rivals. It didn't matter that he had to suffer in the process. What mattered was preserving those fragile lives. How many times do we pass by opportunities to do good but choose the easier path? How many times do we ignore someone who needs help because it would be inconvenient for us? Max showed us that true kindness knows no species boundaries, doesn't calculate personal costs, doesn't hesitate. It simply acts. So if this story touched your heart like it touched mine, drop that like. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because I bring stories like this every week. You won't want to miss them. Your turn to share. Max's story went viral when Sarah shared it on social media. Millions of people around the world were touched by the courage and compassion of this incredible golden retriever. He even received an honor medal from the local Animal Protection Society. But more important than any recognition, Max taught all of us a lesson about the true meaning of unconditional love. He showed us that heroism doesn't need words, doesn't need recognition, doesn't need anything but a heart willing to put others before itself. So I ask you, do you have a similar story with your pet? Have you witnessed a moment of pure animal kindness that left you speechless? Tell me in the comments. I read them all and love hearing about the incredible experiences you have with your pets. And don't forget, the next time you look at your pet, remember that you're not just taking care of an animal. You're sharing your life with a being capable of pure love, true sacrifice, and eternal loyalty. Drop your like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and see you in the next story. Until then, take good care of your 4-legged best friend. Big hug.